Hey guys, welcome to my channel Miss Recap. The Armorer and a group of Mandalorians hold a ceremony to induct a young child, Ragnar Vizsla, into the tribe. The ceremony is interrupted when a dinosaur turtle attacks the Mandalorians. The clan initially fails to defend themselves, but they are saved by Djarin and Grogu, who have been reunited after the events of the Book of Boba Fett. The Armorer confirms that if the mines of Mandalore still exist, Din may become a Mandalorian once more. Din travels to Navarro to meet High Magistrate Greef Karga. Din helps Karga stave off a group of pirates led by the pirate Vane. Karga offers Din the position of Marshal, but Din refuses, stating that he came to rebuild IG-11. Din successfully revives IG-11, but the droid defaults to his original, violent programming. Din brings the parts to a group of Anzellan mechanics who tell him that they need a new memory core to repair the droid. As Din leaves Navarro, the pirate crew, led by Vane's superior, Gorian Shard, attacks his ship, but Din escapes. Din meets with Bo-Katan Kryze in an old Mandalorian castle on Kalevala, who reveals that after losing the Darksaber, she has abandoned her plans to reclaim Mandalore and tells Din to travel there alone. Din visits Pelimoto on Tatooine in search of a new memory core chip for IG-11. She does not have one, but instead sells him R5-D4. Din, Grogu, and R5 fly to Mandalore, where Din orders R5 to scout ahead and ensure that the atmosphere is non-toxic. When R5 does not return, Din ventures after it and is attacked by several Alamites, a native troll-like species living in the caves. Heading deeper into the mines, Din is captured by a cyborg creature and sends Grogu for Bo-Katan's help. Bo-Katan rescues Din and kills the cyborg before leading Din to the living waters. Din immerses himself to restore his status as a Mandalorian, but a sudden drop-off causes him to sink deep into the water. Bo-Katan dives in to save him. On the way back up, she comes face to face with the mythosaur. After Din recovers, he and Bo-Katan depart Mandalore, though Bo-Katan withholds the mythosaur's existence from him. Upon returning to Kalevala, they are attacked by Imperial TIE squads, who destroy Bo-Katan's home and are forced to retreat. On Coruscant, Dr. Pershing receives a pardon by the New Republic, but is startled to find Elia Kane, a former communications officer who was a part of Moff Gideon's Imperial remnant, among the amnesty program's recipients. Elia agrees to assist Pershing in his efforts to continue his cloning research, which has been outlawed by the Republic. They sneak aboard a decommissioned Imperial-class Star Destroyer to steal the necessary materials, but Elia betrays Pershing to the Republic's lawkeepers, and later secretly sabotages the mind-wiping procedure used on him. Meanwhile, Din and Bo-Katan arrive at the secret Mandalorian enclave, where Din presents the Armorer with a sample of the living waters as proof of his redemption. Because she has also bathed in the waters, Bo-Katan is welcome to the enclave as well. Din introduces Grogu to Mandalorian combat training. Grogu wins a training match, but his opponent, Ragnar Vizsla, is captured by a large raptor. Bo-Katan gathers a hunting party, which includes Din and Ragnar's father, Paz Vizsla, and leads them to the raptor's nest on foot. The Armorer forges a new piece of Mandalorian armor for Grogu, a rondel bearing Din's Mudhorn sigil. As she works, Grogu has visions of his rescue from the burning Jedi Temple by Jedi Master Kelleran Beck and sympathetic members of the Naboo armed forces. Paz Vizsla's over-eagerness to save Ragnar disrupts Bo-Katan's plan and leads to a difficult aerial confrontation in which Bo-Katan and Din rescue the boy unharmed, kill the raptor, collect its chicks, and earn the clan's respect. As the Armorer replaces Bo-Katan's pauldron, lost in the scuffle with the raptor, Bo-Katan reveals her encounter with the mythosaur, but the Armorer meets her account with indifferent disbelief. In retaliation for Vane's expulsion, Gorian Shard invades Navarro. Greef Karga contacts Carson Teva for help from the New Republic. Suspecting that the attack is a prelude to a new rise of the Empire, Teva informs Colonel Tuttle, but when Tuttle shows indifference, he tracks down the Mandalorian covert and asks Din Djarin for help. Din convinces the covert to come to Karga's aid despite their prior confrontations with him, and Bo-Katan assumes command of the attack force. As the Mandalorians overcome the invasion, explosion, Vane flees, Shard is killed, and the remaining pirates are detained. The Mandalorians are welcomed back by Karga and the people, and move back into their old enclave. The Armorer meets with Bo-Katan, acknowledging the Mythosaur's reappearance as an omen that Bo-Katan is the one who can reunite all Mandalorians, and bids her to remove her helmet to symbolize this new position. On his way back to Adelphi, Teva encounters the wreckage of Moff Gideon's prison transport, which had gone missing during transit, and finds a fragment of Beskar alloy inside. Bo-Katan, Din, and Grogu set out for the idyllic planet Plazar 15, where Bo-Katan's former army, now led by Axe Woves, have set themselves up as mercenaries. Before they can meet them, they are involuntarily diverted by the planet's rulers, Captain Bombardier and the Duchess, who ask for their help in neutralizing several repurposed but malfunctioning Imperial and Separatist droids. After stopping a rogue droid, Bo-Katan and Din follow its trail to the Resistor, a droid bar, and convince its bartender and clientele to help them. They discover that the droids were sabotaged through nanodroids in the bar's maintenance fluid, which were covertly imported by Commissioner Hellgate, head of the Planetary Security Office. Confronted, Hellgate reveals himself as a separatist before Bo-Katan knocks him out, and the Duchess sentences him to exile. Granted an audience with the Mandalorian privateers, Bo-Katan challenges Woves for leadership and defeats him. To help her ascendance, Din admits his capture by the cyborg in the mines of Mandalore, and his rescue by Bo-Katan, which rightfully bestows the Darksaber back to her. Moff Gideon is informed by Elia Kane of the Mandalorians' intent to retake their planet. Gideon relays this information to the Shadow Council, a group of Imperial remnant warlords. He requests reinforcements from Commandant Brendel Hux, and questions Captain Pelion on the absence of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Reassembling on Navarro, Bo-Katan unites the Mandalorian clans and prepares a recon party to explore the surface of Mandalore and locate the Great Forge. Before leaving, Greef Karga presents Din Djarin with IG-12, a rebuilt version of IG-11, which is able to be controlled by Grogu. On Mandalore, the group meets another surviving clan who is loyal to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan admits that she surrendered to Gideon shortly after the Night of 1,000 Tears, hoping that her people would be spared from further harm. The party finds the Great Forge, but is ambushed by Beskar-enhanced stormtroopers. Din is captured by a Beskar-wearing Gideon, who reveals his intent to complete the Great Purge of Mandalore. He attempts to kill the search party, but Bo-Katan uses the Darksaber to make an escape for the group. Paz Vizsla stays behind to buy time, but is killed by Gideon's Praetorian guards. Bo-Katan and her reconnaissance squad retreat from Moff Gideon's base. Upon returning to the Mandalorian flagship, Axe Wove sends the remaining Mandalorians to reinforce the planetary troops, while he defends the ship from Imperial TIE squadrons. With assistance from Grogu, Din escapes from captivity and seeks out Gideon. Din and Grogu discover cloning tanks filled with Force-sensitive clones of Gideon. After a lengthy skirmish between the Mandalorians and the Beskar-enhanced stormtroopers within the base, Bo-Katan, Din, and Grogu make a final stand against Gideon and his Praetorian guards, in which the Darksaber is destroyed. Axe Woves rams the Mandalorian capital ship into the Imperial base, and Gideon is consumed by the resulting blast. Grogu protects himself, Bo-Katan, and Din from the blast with a Force barrier. After the battle, the Mandalorians restart the Great Forge, and Din formally adopts Grogu. Afterwards, Din takes up honest contract work with Carson Teva, and moves into a cabin on the outskirts of Navarro's capital, while IG-11 is rebuilt by the Anzellan mechanics to serve as Navarro's new marshal. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notification so you can watch more videos like this.